Okay, thanks for joining me, guys. Push-up workshop today. Obviously, this is a movement that a lot of you will be doing a decent amount of at the moment. Something to be aware of, though, anytime you're doing push-ups, any pushing-based exercise, you want to try and balance it out with some more pull-based exercises as well. So just a good rule of thumb, if you're doing a push-up, do some sort of row or pull-up type movement as well. Anyway, that aside, a few things I want to go through, very practical here. So I want everyone, we're going to start at the bottom. So everyone start in the bottom of a push-up for me. So you're lying on the ground, on your front, hands in the position as if you're going to do your push-up. And nice, strong body there. So lying on your front, hands in the position you would like them to be where you're doing a push-up. Okay, so the first thing I want to look at here is hand position. A lot of people will be too far forward with their hands. So everyone shift your hands forward so they're next to your shoulders. Hands next to your shoulders. Now that's too far forward. That's not where you want to be. So you'll see when you do that, if your hands are too far forward, you'll get this rolling forward or shrugging of your shoulder, which puts you into an unfavorable position there. And if you guys also just look to the side, you'll see that your forearm is on an angle. So imagine if someone was side on to you, you see how your forearm is angled back. We don't want that. So everyone shift your hands back, not even next to your chest, almost next to your rib cage. So shifting the hands back. Now, take another look at your forearm. Imagine it's being viewed from the side. Your forearm should now be vertical. So what this means is that your body is going to be generating force along the line of your forearm. So all the bones of your forearm from your elbow to your wrist, that's where the force is going to be generated. So if that's not vertical, then you're going to be losing some power. So leave your hands where they are, leave your feet where they are. And if you're strong enough, you can now do a push-up to come out of this. If not, just use your knees to get up and just hold that top position there for me. Okay, so that's where your hands should be relative to your body. Now, everyone keep your hands and feet where they are. Lower back down into the bottom of your push-up for me. Hold that there. Again, you should see that your forearm is vertical. And you may find that your hands are a little further back than you would normally expect them to be. Okay, so just make a bit of a mental note of how this feels. This is the position we're going to be using for the rest of the day. Yep, and have a rest there. So next thing to look at is your body position. So what we're going to do with this one, everyone roll onto your back for me, please. And I want you to go into a hollow body position. So arms extended overhead, toes pointed. Have your hands apart as if you've just done a strict press or you're about to do a pull-up. Don't lock them together. Okay, what I want you to now do is lock your rib cage down to your pelvis. So this is going to take you into that hollow body position. Everyone lock into position there. You should feel that the abs are on with your rib cage locked down to your pelvis. Squeeze your abs, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your abs, squeeze your glutes, and rest. Okay, so what we've just done there is gone into a posterior pelvic tilt. Now, an anterior pelvic tilt or a forward tilt is where you'd be arching your back. A posterior pelvic tilt, which is what you did there, is where you're folding at your belly button. So everyone back onto your front, hands back into position as if you're going to do that push-up. Remember, the hands may be a little further back than you would normally have them. And everyone up at the top of the rep here. So it's okay to use that bottom position just to find your position. But everyone else up at the top of the rep. Now, I want you to go into that hollow body position that we just had when you were on the ground. So rib cage locked down, folding at your belly button, and squeeze your glutes. You should find your pelvis is tucking under. Just hold that for another 10 seconds for me. Abs are locked down, glutes are on. Now, my challenge for you in the next 5 seconds is for your abs and glutes to be hurting. This needs to feel like an ab and glute exercise, not an arm exercise. Drop your knees, have a rest. Okay, a lot of people will think of push-ups as an upper body movement, and of course it is. It's an arm pressing movement, but there's also a lot of benefit here in terms of what your whole body is doing. And that brings me to a point on scaling. As you guys know, we would never scale a push-up by dropping to your knees, because what that's basically doing, if this is the length of your body from head to toes, as soon as you drop to your knees, you're effectively shortening the length of your body. And if you think of this like a bridge crossing water, if that bridge is a certain length, you're going to have to put a support pillar in the middle. But what we don't want to put that support pillar, which is like you dropping your knees. We want to strengthen the bridge, which effectively is what we're trying to do here. So this makes it a great exercise for your abs, a great exercise for your glutes, a great stabilization exercise to be able to hold your body strong. Okay, so let's get everyone again up into that push-up position for me, please. Be aware of where your hands are. If you need to get your hands in position by starting from the ground, that's fine. If not, you can go straight into it. So hold that top position there, lock your rib cage down, squeeze your glutes, take you into a good hollow body position. Good, okay. And from there, what I would like you to do is now screw your hands into the ground. So you're trying to screw your hands outwards into the ground, as if you're trying to drill each hand in, screwing outwards, screwing out towards your little finger. Abs should be on, glutes should be on, hips should be tucked under, rib cage should be locked down. You should be screwing your hands into the ground and have a rest, guys. Good. And you may notice when you screw your hand into the ground, the inside of your elbow, the pit of your elbow rotates forward a little bit. It's also going to externally rotate your shoulder, and it's also going to set your shoulder blades back and down, which is called a retraction and a depression of your scapulae. That's what we're looking for. Now, if you can do those things and hold that correctly in a static position, when you actually go to do the push-up itself, everything is probably going to be correct. Everything's probably going to be right. So let's go back into that position for me, guys. Make sure your hands are in the right place here. Remember, they're going to be next to your chest or next to your rib cage as opposed to next to your shoulders. Everyone holding that top position. Lock your rib cage down into that hollow position. Squeeze your glutes on to tuck your pelvis under. Screw your hands into the ground. Now, holding that position with nothing changing, I'd like everyone to do a slow 5-second lower with your chest being the first part of your body that touches the ground. Away you go. Abs on, glutes on, screwing the hands into the ground. The chest should be the first thing to contact the ground, and rest. Good. Back to the top for me. Same again. We're going to do the same thing. Everyone hold that top position until I tell you to lower. Screwing the hands into the ground, ribs down, glutes on, pelvis tucked under. Screwing the hands into the ground, slow lower all the way down. Chest should be the first thing to touch the ground. Good. And rest. Okay, so guys, if you can do that, you have the body position and the strength and the positional awareness to be able to do a push-up. Of course, then you need to come back up out of it. And that needs to look exactly the same. So the reason we do that eccentric, which is about 40% stronger than the concentric or the lift, the reason we do that is because if you were to film that lower, and then you were to reverse that video, so drag your finger backwards along that video of yourself doing the push-up, it should look like you're doing the push-up. They should look identical up and down. So if you film them and you do the down and you do the up and then you play them both backwards, you play them forwards, you shouldn't be able to tell which one is your eccentric or your lower and which one is your concentric or your lift. They should look identical. Okay, so what I'd like everyone to do, if you have the strength to do a push-up, cool, that's fine. I'll get you to do a full push-up now. If not, again, guys, we would scale using a band around your chest rather than shortening the lever. Instead of shortening the lever and drop into your knee, I'd rather you put your hands on the kitchen table, on a box, on a raised surface, because it will at least keep that lever length. So everyone to the top of your push-up for me. We're going to go for one complete rep here. Hold that position. All right, lock your rib cage down, so abs should be on. Use your glutes to tuck your pelvis under. Screw your hands into the ground. Slightly slower, lower than normal. So lower to the ground, chest touches only, and then return to your starting position with zero change in the position of your body. Good, down and rest. All right, so that's it, guys. The key takeaways here. A good, strong, hollow body position. The hands in the correct position, generating torque by screwing the hands into the ground. The same technique on the way down as it is on the way up. A push-up is something we don't often think about in terms of technique. If you're snatching or doing complex Olympic weightlifting, we're often thinking technique. But with a movement like this, we're not always focusing on how can I make this movement really good? But a great opportunity here for you with something that seems simple to do that simple really well. Okay?